Dear students, today's lecture of e-commerce, we will study about the supply chain management. So, topics we will cover what is supply chain and what is supply chain management. So, what is supply chain? The supply chain is an extensive network that starts from raw material procurement to the manufactured product reaching the end customer. The meaning of supply chain is to procure the raw material from where if you want to develop some product. So for that product, from where you will get the raw material. After getting the raw material, what are the processes to make the product final? So after the finalizing of the product, how to supply the product in the market. The whole process is called from raw material to the end customer is called the supply chain. It comprises all the information from the flow of raw materials, products, and funds between all the entities in various stages of the process. Every step of the process, such as procuring raw materials, converting raw materials into manufactured goods, transportation of the products to the point of sale, and selling it to the end customer, is all a part of the supply chain. Okay. Uh, the key function of the supply chain are the raw material procurement, product development, marketing, finance, operations, distribution, and more. Okay, this is how it works. Raw material, logistics, supplier, manufacturer, then again logistics distributor, then again logistics retailer, again logistics consumer. Consumer creates a demand. Based on the demand, again the raw materials procure, and the same process will go on. This is called the supply chain. Now, how to manage this supply chain, that we will study. But first of all, I have a difference between supply chain and the value chain. The topic value chain we have covered in our previous lecture. So difference between supply chain and value chain is, in a supply chain, it is the functioning of a logistic channels, and value chain is providing customers with added value. In supply chain, procuring, manufacturing, logistics, and payment comes under supply chain. And here in the value chain, value-added services like customer service, innovative products based on R&D. So how you facilitate the values? What are the facilities you are providing to the customer? That is comes under the value chain. Okay. The core objective of the supply chain is the demand fulfillment, and the core objective of the value chain is the demand performance. Main stakeholder in the supply chain is supply chain partners, like the partner who is providing the raw material, the partner who is providing the logistics, the partner who is trading your product, the partner who is supplying your product to the end customer. And in the main stakeholder in the value chain is shareholders and investors. So this is the difference between supply chain and the value chain. So how this supply chain manages? So that comes the supply chain management. What is supply chain management? Supply chain management is the management of the flow of goods and services, and includes all processes that transform raw materials into the final products. The main objective of this management, which is supply chain, is when we need raw materials, immediately the raw materials should be procured. When we need logistic, immediate the logistics should be managed. When we need to enhance our labor or our working efficiency, immediately that efficiency must be managed or increased as per the demand of the customer. How to manage this? This is called the supply chain management. Okay, so in supply chain, SCM involves the active streamlining of a business's supply side activities to maximize customer value and gain a competitive advantage in the marketplace. SCM represents an effort by suppliers to develop and implement supply chains that are as efficient and economical as possible. SCM attempts to centrally control or link the production, shipment, and distribution of a product. This is done by keeping tighter control of internal inventories, internal production, distribution, sales, and the inventories of company vendors. Good supply chain management keeps companies out of the headlines and away from expensive recalls and lawsuits. Various supply chain software vendors are Oracle, PeopleSoft, SAP American, Trilogy. So all these are softwares which helps us to manage the management of an organization for the supply chain. Supply chain management. What are the components of supply chain management? Number one is planning. Enterprises need to plan and manage all resources required to meet customer demand for their product or service. They also need to design their supply chain and then determine which metrics to use in order to ensure the supply chain is efficient, effective, delivers value to customers, and meets enterprise goals. This is what about the planning is. Then sourcing. Companies must choose suppliers to provide the goods and services needed to create their product. After suppliers are under contract, supply chain managers use a variety of processes to monitor and manage supplier relationships. Key processes include ordering, receiving, managing inventory, and authorizing supplier payments. I hope the sourcing part is clear to you. We need to manage the suppliers here. Then making. Supply chain managers coordinate the activities required to accept raw materials, manufacture the product, test of quality, package for shipping, and schedule for delivery. Most enterprises measure quality, production output, and worker productivity to ensure the enterprise creates products that meet quality standards. This is about the making of in the supply chain management system. In the delivering, often called logistics, this involves coordinating customer orders, scheduling delivery, dispatching loads, invoicing customers, and receiving payments. It relies on a fleet of vehicles to ship product to customers. Many organizations outsource large parts of the delivery process to specialist organizations, particularly if the product requires special handling or is to be delivered to a customer's home. So next is returning. The supplier needs to responsive and flexible network to take back defective, excess or unwanted products. You all have experience when you purchase the product online. If the product comes faulty or the product which you have ordered but that product is not delivered to you, then what you do? You return that product. So that also comes under the components of supply chain management system. Okay, if the product is defective, it needs to be reworked or scrapped. If the product is simply unwanted or excess, it needs to be returned to the warehouse for sale. Another is the second point of SCM is enabling to uh, not this it's the last point of the SCM is enabling to operate efficiently. The supply chain requires a number of support processes to monitor information throughout the supply chain and assure compliance with all regulations. Enabling processes include finance, HR, IT, facilities, portfolio management, product design, sales, and quality assurance. So we need such departments to run efficiently the process of supply chain. Benefits of supply chain management system. Higher efficiency rate. It will be able to adjust more dynamically to the uh, fluctuating economies, emergency markets, and shorter product life cycles. The second is decrease cost effects, improves inventory system, adjust the storage space for finished goods, which eliminates damaged resources, improves systems responsiveness to the actual customer's requirements, improves relationship with both distributors and vendors. The third is increases output. SCM improves communications, which adds up to the coordination and collaboration with shipping and transport companies, vendors, and suppliers. It increases your business profit level. SCM boosts cooperation level, no more delays in the processes, enhanced supply chain network. So these are the references for the current topic. In the next topic, we will study about the evolution of supply chain, just in time, JIT, and quick response retailing, push pull, and build to order model of supply chains. Till then, thank you.